Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to do another little mini flow. If you think you're going to need some props, by all means have some blocks close by. We're going to get into some lunges today, so I don't think I'm going to use my blocks, but I'm going to have them handy just in case. So once again, I'm outside. I'm trying to catch the last few minutes of nice weather before it gets really cold and the snow comes. It's a little windy, but I'm still going to do what I can and enjoy the nice weather. So I invite you to come down to your back, or if you would prefer a different position to start your practice in, by all means, you can come to a sit. If you're rolling yourself down onto your back, gently extend the legs and extend the arms. See if you can soften into a little bit of ease as you relax the feet, relax the legs, soften the hips, soften your belly muscles. Soften your shoulders down towards the floor. Turn the palms up towards the sky, encouraging that collarbone to open up. I do invite you to close your eyes so that possibly you can soften in towards your breath and hear your breath, notice your breath even more. Notice how you feel. Notice if you can soften a little bit more into your space. And as we take a few cycles of breath here, just trying to relax the muscles, relax the mind. One more cycle of breath here. And then invite the movement, fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. However it feels best for you. Sometimes we want to get more into the legs. Sometimes we want to get more into the arms, depending on how you're feeling today. Once you're ready, soften the knees and draw them in towards your chest. Keeping the knees together, let's make some circles. So as your knees start to go towards the right and circle a little bit away from you, and then draw them to the left and then back in towards the chest. Try to keep the thighs together, knees together, as you make this circular motion. And as the knees are extending to the right and away, that would be your inhale. And as the knees draw back into the left, that would be your exhale. So inhale half a circle and exhale the other half. Just gently massaging that low back into the mat. We'll take one more circle here. And then as the knees draw into the chest, we're going to change direction. So I'm going to go to the left with my inhale, away from the body. Knees in with the exhale towards the right. And again, continuing with these circles. And not worrying how big or how small they are. Just noticing how your low back feels. You might even feel it in the hips. We're just encouraging a little bit of rotation in that hip socket. Maybe noticing how our low back feels. One more circle. Draw the knees in gently, a little sway side to side, just to straighten out and relax the back in case that was a little bit of effort. And then we're going to make our way up into tabletop. Do you want to go through your fetal position? Do you want to use a little bit of rock and roll motion? Maybe coming up and over your knees? Once you get to your tabletop position, hands are underneath the shoulders. Knees are underneath the hips. And we're just going to work into that hip joint a little bit more. So once you set up your foundation, take your inhale to extend that left leg long behind you. It's about hip height. You don't have to extend it too far up. But still brace through those hands and the supporting knee. And as you exhale, just draw the knee in towards your chest. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Arch your back and hollow out your belly. Inhale to straighten out your spine. Extend the leg back behind you, opening up the front side of the body. And then as you exhale, knee to nose, chin to chest, arch your back. Inhaling, extend long behind you, look just in front of the fingertips, and then as you exhale, knee in, belly in, chin to chest. Once more like that. Inhale, leg back, exhale, knee in. Inhale, leg straightens back behind you, and this time exhale, back to tabletop. Readjust if you need. You might even need to take the weight out of the wrists a little bit if that's your problem area. Take a breather. Always know that you can take a break whenever you need. If you're ready, reset your foundation. Hands, knees. Draw those triceps in. And we'll go to the other side. Inhale, right leg long behind you. You can even flex those toes down towards the floor and engage the back of the leg, maybe even a little bit of the glute muscles. And then with your exhale, knee draws in, chin dips, arch your back. Think cat-like back. Inhale, extend the leg back behind you, straighten out to the spine. And as you exhale, arch the back, chin in, knee towards your forehead. Inhale, leg back, opening up the front side of the body. And as you exhale, tuck everything in towards the center. Inhale, extend long. Exhale, in. One more. Inhale, extend long. And this time, exhale, tabletop. Take a little bit of movement here if you need. Take a break. And then from tabletop, ground the hands in, tuck the toes under with your inhale, and then with your exhale, lift up into your downward facing dog. Keep the knees relatively bent for your first one. And baby step those feet with your inhale into your forward fold. Again, your first forward fold may not be the best. We're just working gently to open up the backside of the body, the spine, backs of the legs. Inhale up to your flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a standing position, arms reach. Hands come down through heart center to our mountain pose. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, hinge from the hip into your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a standing position. Push through those feet. Reach through the arms. Hands down through heart center into mountain pose. Twice more like that. Inhale, arms reach up. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, hinge from the hip into your forward fold. Inhale up to the flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, left leg back into your lunge position. Drop the back knee. Lift the torso with your inhale. Maybe take the arms up and sink into your crescent lunge, low crescent lunge with your exhale. Take an inhale here, and with an exhale, we'll bend at the elbows and bring our arms to goddess pose or cactus style. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, twist to the right. Try to keep those hands in line with your shoulders. Inhale to untwist, reach the arms back up to the sky. And then as you exhale, hands to the floor. Lift the back knee. Step forward to your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a standing position. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, arms reach. Lengthen the spine. As you exhale, dive forward into your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, right leg back behind you. Drop the back knee. Inhale, lift the torso, lift the arms, and sink into your low crescent lunge with your exhale. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, hands bend at the elbows into goddess pose. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, twist to the left. Try to keep that knee and hip in alignment. Take an inhale to untwist, arms reach up to the sky. And then as you exhale, frame the front foot, lift the back knee, and this time step the front foot back to your downward facing dog. And in your downward facing dog, see if you need any movement. Maybe you need to pedal out. See if you can lengthen out the spine. And then notice if those hamstrings can extend a little bit longer. Always know that you can come to tabletop to take a break. You can take a break in child's pose. So just our first little bit of movement, investigating how we feel. If you're in child's pose or tabletop, come back up into your downward facing dog. Inhale to lift the right leg up towards the sky, and with your exhale, see if you can step it through to your lunge position. This time, let's see if we can keep the back knee lifted. Come up with the torso. Reach the arms. High crescent lunge. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, bend at the elbows once again. Take an inhale to open up the chest, and as you exhale, twist to the right again. Trying to keep those hips facing forward. Inhale back to your high crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to the floor. This time, step back to your downward facing dog and see how this one feels. Is there any more space happening in those legs? Is there any space in the spine? Remember, you can always take a break in tabletop or child's pose. 2 more cycles of breath here. If you're in child's pose or tabletop, come back to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up towards the sky. And as you exhale, try to step it through. And remember, if it doesn't make it, take your hand, help it there. Inhale, torso lifts. Remember, you can use a little bit of balance to help you come up strong. Arms reach once you're there at the top. And sink into your crescent lunge. Inhale to open up the chest. Exhale, goddess arms. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, twist to the left. Try not to allow those knees and hips to pivot. See if those hips can still keep forward. Try to keep that front lunge as best as you can. Inhale back into your high crescent lunge. And as you exhale, hands to the floor, step back to your downward facing dog and feel how this one feels. Again, the movement if you need it. If you prefer the stillness, work on the breathing. Has it increased? Is it still nice and smooth? So remember, you can always take the modified knee down in that crescent lunge. You can go low crescent lunge. But I'm going to try to encourage you to stay with the high crescent lunge. So if you're ready, come back to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, step it into your lunge position. Once you're ready, inhale up to your high crescent lunge. And right away, exhale, goddess arms and twist. Inhale back to your high crescent lunge. We're going to do that again. Exhale, twist, and bend at the elbow. Keep that front lunge as best as you can. Hips are facing forward. One more time. Inhale, crescent lunge. Straighten out the spine. And with your exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands frame the front foot. Step back to your downward facing dog. Notice what you feel. Notice the breath. Do you need a break? What kind of movement is going to make you feel better? Come back into downward facing dog if you're not. Inhale, left leg lifts. And as you exhale, step it through, help it along if you need. Inhale up to your crescent lunge, arms reach. And as you exhale, twist and goddess arms. Twist to the left. Keep the hip bones facing forward. Inhale, untwist, arms reach up, crescent lunge. Exhale, twist and goddess arms. Do the best you can. Inhale, crescent lunge. Straighten out the spine, reach up. And as you exhale, twist. Come back to crescent lunge. Inhale. As you exhale, frame the front foot. Step back to your downward facing dog just for one breath. And then drop the knees down. You can stay in your tabletop. You can sit down into your child's pose. Take a little breather. Relax the legs. Relax the wrists. Catch your breath. Maybe the leg muscles need a little bit of a breather. Maybe they need a little wiggle jiggle, depending on if that lunge was difficult for you or you found it easy. We're going to add on just a little bit more. So we're going to ask our leg muscles to do a little bit more work. Remember, take the breaks when you need. If you're ready, back into our downward facing dog. So you finish your exhale in your downward facing dog, and then inhale, right leg up to the sky. As you exhale, step it into your lunge position. Adjust the feet if you need before you inhale up into your crescent lunge. Exhale into your twist. Catch your balance if you need. Inhale back up to your crescent lunge. And this time as you exhale, hinge from the hip into your runner's lunge. Arms reach forward and then keep reaching the arms back. So angle your torso. Steady the front knees, front leg. See if you can still keep that lunge position. Push into the feet. Hold yourself strong. Keep the collarbone open. Do the best you can to hang in here. One more full cycle of breath. You can do it. A nice big inhale and exhale. Inhale back up into crescent lunge. And then as you exhale, frame the front foot. Step back to your downward facing dog. We're going to be here for about 3 breaths. So can you rest in downward facing dog? Or do you need another modification to take a break? Depends. How is your breath? How do your legs feel? Make your way back into downward facing dog if you're not there already. Inhale, left leg lifts. And as you exhale, step it into your lunge position. Help it if you need. Inhale the torso and the arms up into crescent lunge. Exhale, twist goddess arms, twisting to the left. Inhale, crescent lunge. And as you exhale, fan your arms forward, hinge from the hip into runner's lunge. As you're in your runner's lunge, can you get even more grounded into those legs? The legs are your support here. Can you come a little bit higher onto those back toes? How's the breath? How's that front leg feeling? It's doing a little bit of work for you. Do the best you can. Keep breathing. Keep the chest open as best as you can. Arms may be reaching back. Neck neutral. One more cycle of breath. You can do it. Nice big inhale. Exhale. Inhale, arms lift, torso lifts, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands frame the front foot. Step back to your downward facing dog. And notice what you notice. Where do you need to take the break? Do your legs need a little bit of a release? Is the breath telling you that you need a child's pose? Keep breathing. Notice how your legs feel. Do they have a little bit of effort left in them? If we added on just a little bit more, how would we do? Let's see. If you're not in downward facing dog, make your way to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up towards the sky. As you exhale, step it into your lunge. Inhale up to your crescent lunge. Exhale your twist just to get a nice spinal rotation. Inhale back into your full crescent lunge. Hinge forward into your runner's lunge. Get your support nice and strong. Try to do the best you can to keep that front knee over the ankle. And we're just going to add a little bit extra here. Take your right hand to your hip low back area. The left hand is going to come to the outside of the right knee. Palm is going to face out. And use your exhale to see if you can twist your torso to the right side of your mat. Try to keep that hip in line with your knee. Maybe you notice that the hand can reach a little bit further down. Try to keep that back heel over the toes. I'm going to make a slight adjustment there with my heel. Hopefully it's not sickling left or right. Do the best you can. Hold your twist for one more cycle of breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale to untwist back into your runner's lunge. And then hands frame the front foot. Step back to downward facing dog. And just notice what you notice. You should get a different sensation from one leg to the other. What kind of movement do you need? How's the breath? How are the hips feeling? How are the legs feeling? 2 more cycles of breath for your break before we go to the other side. From downward facing dog, inhale, left leg up. As you exhale, step it through to your lunge. Help it if you need. Inhale, torso and arms reach up to your full crescent lunge. Exhale, twist goddess arms to the left. Get a little bit of rotation, preparing the spine. Inhale, back to your crescent lunge. Exhale to runner's lunge. Maybe the arms reach back. Maybe you're going to stay here and just work on the leg strengthening. Maybe your spine today is not liking the twist. But if you think that you might be able to try, take the left hand to the low back area. Take your right hand to the outside of the left knee. And as you exhale, twist to the left. And you can use that hand on your knee to help get a little bit more of the rotation. You might even notice that reaching the hand a little bit further down towards the floor is more comfortable, which kind of brings your forearm to the outside of the knee. Can you hold the legs nice and strong? Hip tucked in, not flaring out to the left side. Noticing how much work your left leg needs to do here. How's the breathing? In your twist, it's going to affect your breath. Keep breathing. Do the best you can. One more full cycle of breath here. Inhale to untwist to your runners. Ooh, my legs are feeling it. And then hands to the floor. Step back to your downward facing dog. And then knees come down. Let's go wide knee child's pose. And just rest. Take the effort out of the legs. You might want to get into those hip creases a little bit more by taking a little sway side to side. Resting your head on something if you're in child's pose. If that's not comfortable for you, just sit up onto your heels. Just somewhere where you can take just a moment or two. Rest. Take a little bit of inventory. See how you feel. If we attempted one more cycle, what would you be able to do? Perhaps you're thinking, no, I'm done. I'd like to rest a little bit longer. That's fine. I'm going to go one more round. I encourage you to come with me and see what you can do. Make your way into downward facing dog. With your inhale, right leg lifts. As you exhale, step it into your lunge position. Inhale up to your crescent lunge. And with your exhale, let's go into that twist, but the one that's hinged. So I'm going to hinge my torso, reach my right hand back to my low back, left hand to the outside of my right knee, and I'm going to see if I can get a little bit lower in that lunge. Use your breath to hold your twist. 2 full cycles of breath here. A nice deep inhale. Soften in your exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to untwist back up into your crescent lunge. Let's hold here for the exhale. Sink maybe a little deeper. Open up the chest. And as you exhale, hinge forward. Hands frame the front foot. Step back to your downward facing dog. Let's go right away for the other side. You can do it. Left leg inhales up. Exhale to your lunge position. Inhale up to crescent lunge. As you exhale, hinge and twist right away. Left hand to the low back. Right hand to the outside of the left knee. Maybe adjust that distance between your legs. Feel the strength in your legs supporting you. Use your hand on the outside of the knee to just encourage a little bit more of a twist. Do the best you can. Hold your balance. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Your left ankle is going to probably move to help support you. Keep breathing. One more full cycle. You can do it. One more inhale. Exhale. Inhale to untwist back up into your crescent lunge. And exhale into that crescent lunge just a little deeper. Inhale. And as you exhale, frame the front foot. Step back to your downward facing dog just for one breath. Knees come back down. And swing your feet around. Bring yourself to a sit position. See, that wasn't so bad, eh? Take a little bit of movement here. I'm going to take my hands behind me, soften the knees, and just kind of swing the knees side to side. Just giving those hip joints, those leg muscles, a little bit of movement. How do the legs feel? Were they able to support you? Maybe your twist needs to be a little bit more. Getting a little bit more in the torso, because that feels good for me right now. And then come back to center. Maybe come forward on your mat, depending on where you are. And then slowly make your way back down to your back. Now here, we'll take a few breaths just to see what's going on in our hips. Bring those feet together on the floor, and then allow those knees to flare open into our butterfly or frog knees, frog legs. I'm actually going to bring the soles of my feet together. just so that I notice what's going on in the hip joint. Does that movement that we just did make my hips feel better? Do they feel tighter? Are they complaining? Or maybe I notice that, oh yeah, they actually feel a little better. Hopefully that's the answer that your mind is telling you. And then knees back up towards the sky, drawing them back towards each other. Draw the knees back into the chest. A little movement here. And just like when we started, let's do those circles. So you'll inhale the knees to the right and away from you. And then exhale as the knees go to the left and then back in. And as you're doing these circles here, do they feel the same as when we first started the practice? Do the hips feel a little looser? One more circle. Does the low back feel a little better? Next time the knees come into the chest, change directions with those circles. Inhaling the knees to the left and away. Exhaling, knees to the right and in. Now as you massage that low back into the mat, how does it feel? My low back was a little tight at the beginning of practice, and I definitely feel that I created a little bit of space. I can feel my hip joints because they were working to support me in those lunges. But it's a good feeling. Draw the knees into the chest. Take any last little bit of wiggle-jiggle movement before you either bring your feet to the floor or extend the legs long into your Shavasana. Maybe extending the legs long will allow those hips, the front of the hips, to relax. Find a comfortable space with your legs. And then readjust those shoulders so that you can soften the torso as well. Trying to get to a space that has the least amount of work effort going on. Whatever is most comfortable for you. Eyes closed, palms turned up, arms relaxed, open chest. And as you breathe here, this is your opportunity for your body to absorb. Absorb the movements. Absorb the space that you maybe created. Maybe it was difficult for you. Maybe it wasn't. But it's the movement of the spine, the twisting of the spine. That movement of the spine is what we're hoping that will create the ease. So as you rest here, notice how your spine feels. Allow that feeling to be absorbed, to be remembered. Allow the breath just to flow in and out without trying to force it. Don't manipulate it. Just rest. Know that you did something good for your body. That's what you should be celebrating at the end of your practice. The movement, to create the ease. We'll take about 4 or 5 cycles of breath here. Don't worry about counting it. I'll gently bring you back to this space. Start to deepen the breath. Bring awareness back to your body. Take those little movements that are going to slowly and gently wake you up. Whether it's in the wrists or the ankles or the neck. Maybe you'd like to draw the knees back into the chest for one last little squeeze. One more hug. And then as you slowly make your way up to your sit position, maybe coming through your fetal position, come up to a sit, cross-legged position. Do the best you can to sit onto those sit bones, spine nice and tall. Little bit of effort to keep you upright, but try to relax the legs. Try to relax the knees. Bring the hands to heart center. You can keep your hands in your lap if you're more comfortable with that. We'll take a full cycle of breath here. Inhaling deeply. And as you exhale, release and let it go. We'll finish our practice here, honoring the light within. Namaste. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I know there was a little bit of wind. Hopefully it wasn't too disturbing for you. But the fact that you came to your mat and did some movement, that's what you should be celebrating, and that's what you should be happy with, doing something good for your body. And hopefully you make it to your mat often. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.